You're tuned in to Steve Megatron on Altered Geek Unlimited.
Hello and welcome to Altered Geek. I'm your host, Steve Megatron Phillips with
what?
With.
That's me, TFG1Mike, of course. Who else would be here?
Satan. Mr. Satan. So, what's been new?
iOS 10 will be available September 13th, so there's that.
And in other news?
Let's see. Larry King did a Donald Trump interview, there's that.
I thought you were going to say impression.
No, that would be the other way around. Donald Trump doing a Larry King impression, because everybody does a Larry King impression. What else is new? I woke up this morning feeling like I had a hole in my chest, so that was interesting.
That's strange.
Yeah, just complete and just utter, could not move, could not do anything, just ugh. Which kind of goes hand in hand with what happened to you last night.
Well, it started yesterday morning.
Okay, well, yesterday morning.
But I'm dumb and didn't go to the urgent care immediately.
Yep.
So I went to work. After I smacked my foot against a wall. And I broke my toe.
Yeah.
And smashed my foot. So now I have a nice little foot brace.
Yeah, that's not a foot brace, dude. That's a whole leg brace.
It's called an air cast.
Yeah, I've had those before. Yeah, when you said they put a boot on you, I thought it was just one of the smaller ones, but no, that's a full leg cast.
It's awesome. I'm part Transformer.
You're an Animorph.
No. I'm the $6 billion man.
Oh, that's funny.
So yeah, that has pretty much sucked.
Yeah.
Because I've been limping around for 2 days now.
Yeah, what you have is a full leg brace. As someone who as a child wore casts and stuff on my right arm and right leg, yeah, be glad it's not a cast.
Yeah, I can at least take it off.
True.
Which I did this morning briefly. Other than that...
Star Trek turned 50,
yes.
So there's that.
And then, of course, they had the awesome stuff on Facebook. They changed all the like buttons, and then they changed the profile add-ons.
Yep. Yeah, they do that every now and then. They have a feature where you can change it, which is interesting on Facebook. I never got the buttons, though. I don't know where the buttons were supposed to be, because all as I still have is the regular like, love, laugh, cry, angry, whatever the regular ones are now.
You had to like the Star Trek page.
Oh.
To get all those.
Okay. So yeah, 50 years of Star Trek. So long ago. Jeez.
We still have some of the original cast.
Some. Shatner will never die.
Don't say that.
Huh?
I said, don't say that.
If he does, they'll just put his head on ice and, kind of like the whole Peter Cullen thing, put his voice on ice, so.
They tried that once. It's called Halloween.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we still have some of the original cast. I don't know. You're more of a Trekkie than I am. Um, I Because I know we both grew up watching Next Generation. My dad, when I was younger, tried to get me to watch Classic, and I just couldn't watch. I just couldn't watch Classic Trek.
That's the best
I
one.
think I've seen. I think I've seen Wrath of Khan once. I think I've seen Undiscovered Country once. My first Star Trek film that I went to see in a theater was First Contact, and that was only because it was Next Generation cast. Because I knew that cast and all that.
First one I went to see was Generations.
Yeah, I missed out on that. I've seen Generations all the way through, but I didn't get to see it in theaters.
But yeah, I've seen every one of them since that in the theater.
Yeah, after I think First Contact, I think that's the only one I've seen in theaters. And the rest of them, between First Contact and JJ Reboot, I just don't care. I'm not trying to sound negative here. I know we're trying to celebrate 50 years of Star Trek, but I don't know. I like net. What was it? Insurrection and Nemesis were the next two after First Contact. Mm-mm. I don't know. Those are just a little too weird for me.
Yeah, the Insurrection, that was like an extended episode of
Yeah.
TNG. It was only good for that. Nemesis, I don't know what it was going for. And then that's part of the nail in the coffin for the films, and then Enterprise was the nail in the coffin for the show.
God, yes.
And yeah, then it died until the Abrams reboot.
Yeah, and I still love watching that first Star. I know everybody gives Abrams a hard time and whatever else, but I still love watching the 2009 Star Trek.
No, I don't have a problem with that one. It's
Yeah,
the follow-up.
it's the Intakon film you have a problem with. Uh, the the darkness of Khan.
He wasn't even the main villain.
I know. That's just so.
RoboCop.
Yep. But you know, Star Trek has had a lot of stuff over the years. They've had a lot of good comics. They've had one animated series, whereas Star Wars has had like a bajillion. Um, you know, we've got all the TV shows. I tried last year. I never stuck with it. I should have. It's not that I didn't want to watch it. I just too much other things. I was going to go and do a watch through of DS9 again because I hadn't done so in a while.
Really
And
good.
the other good one, yeah. Um, and I think I watched like the first three episodes, and it is still so good to this day.
Well, wait until you get to the like second or third season when they start doing the Dominion stuff. It's
Okay,
really ramping up.
cool.
Second half of the series is much better than the first half.
I just like the fact that okay, so as a kid in '87, I started out on TNG, and we had all those characters and all those adventures and whatever else. I just like the fact that DS9 sets up that there are other captains and other crews and other parts of the Federated Galaxy or whatever it's called, you know, the Federation, uh, that can call back to Next Generation without really needing to bring in their cast full. You know what I mean? That it's a whole new cast. That's what I loved about. That's like what I like about all of them because they even did that with Next Generation with bringing Scotty back before he passed.
Well, they did it with McCoy in the first episode.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She's walking
McCoy.
the data.
Okay. Yeah.
Like,
Okay, Bones. Yeah.
I don't see any pointy ears, boy, but you sound like a Vulcan. He says, no, I'm an android. And he says, almost as bad. And then, yeah, he's like 137 and he's walking around like all, you know, dressed up and gimpy and everything. And that was shot probably around the time of Star Trek 5
Yeah.
or 4. And then they had Spock in Unification. They had Sarek in like an episode called Sarek, which is Spock's dad. And then they had Scotty in an episode, and then they had Kirk in Generations.
Yeah.
And they had Sulu in Voyager.
Yeah. Sulu, he's not too happy these days with Star Trek.
No.
We've talked about that before, though. So,
But Q has been in 3 series, while Riker has been in 4.
Yeah.
He was in Enterprise.
Yeah. The TNG crew between Picard, Riker, Deanna Troi, Geordi LaForge, Worf, that whole crew, that's like I remember watching TNG as a kid. I don't remember like Knight Rider. I can remember almost every single episode. That's my favorite episode because that's my thing. With Star Trek, I remember watching the show as a kid, and I remember the characters and why I like the characters, but I don't remember every single episode of what I did or didn't like from TNG. But oh god, and I remember
They had
it
a lot of
was
episodes that kind of explored each of them.
Yeah, and I'm sure and I'm sure at some point I'd love to go back to TNG and watch the thing all the way through, but I just haven't. The funny thing with Riker is after it was over, like, well, hell, it's been what, 14 years now, I think. Yeah, 14 years ago this year, Fox debuted a show called Beyond Belief. And they had 2 hosts. They had Frakes and they had James Brolin. And I remember when I first saw a couple of these, it's Beyond Belief, fact or fiction, if you guys didn't know. It's essentially, an unsolved mysteries type thing where the host tells you about a story, but the difference is at the end you have to pick which stories were based on real events or which stories the show's writers made up for you. So they have 5 total stories. Sometimes 2 are fiction, 3 are fact, and vice versa, whatever else. But I remember when I first saw the show with Frakes, and I'm like, hey, what's number 1 doing on here? That's the first thing I thought of. I mean, all the ones that are still alive, even the ones that are not with us anymore, they all went on to do some other really cool stuff. I mean, look at Picard. He became Professor X.
Among other characters.
Huh?
Among other characters.
Yeah.
He seems to never age.
No, he doesn't. Honestly, almost all of them from Next Generation seem to never age. Michael Dorn.
No, the rest of them have aged badly.
Well, I don't think that Frakes has aged that badly,
Yeah.
or LeVar.
No, they just stopped dyeing their hair. Same thing with Spiner.
Oh, Spiner. Good old Mr. Data. I remember the next thing I saw him in after TNG was Independence Day.
And he came back.
Huh?
He was in the new one.
No, I know, but I'm saying that after I wasn't watching TNG anymore, as growing up, the next thing I had seen him in was he was the crazy doctor dude in Independence Day.
He was also in Enterprise.
Yup.
As Dr. Soong.
Yeah, I'm generally not a fan of prequels unless they bump up to the original somehow, some way. Like if you, and I know I'm deviating here a little bit, but this is talking about prequels at this point. since you mentioned Enterprise, and Enterprise is a prequel. You look at Monsters University and Monsters Inc., and then Minions and Despicable Me 1. Monsters University bumps up against the original Monsters Inc. very well as a prequel, and I believe Minions at the end of the movie does that, sets it up with, Gru finding the Minions, and then, we get Despicable Me 1. I think those are two good prequels that line up well with their original movies that came before them. But with Enterprise, what was it, like something like 1,000 years before?
No. It was only
What was it?
It was only like 80 years before Kirk.
Oh, okay. Still,
But how they ended it was kind of stupid. It never got to really evolve. They had Riker and Troy watching, because Riker was about to be up for the. He was going to become captain of the Enterprise while they had the Pegasus event, and it was supposed to be set like you watched all these missions from Archer on the Enterprise, like on the holodeck. Troy, and he was trying to reassure himself about, because he was always infatuated with the older captains.
Yeah.
So he said end program, and then they left, like, and all the stuff shut off. But he played a chef, like, in the holodeck, so that the captain would talk to him, because they were like their psychiatrists at the time.
Very cool. I know most everyone except for us, I think, most everyone we know, or most everyone that listens to us, are not fans of the Big Bang Theory, but I love it when the Star Trek people show up on there in the various jokes and ways they do.
Oh, dear. 2 suns and no sunscreen.
Hello again, Sheldon.
What is it now, Tiny Spock?
I am very disappointed in you. You broke your toy and switched it with Leonard's. You should be ashamed of yourself.
You're the one who told me to play with it.
If I told you to jump off the bridge of the Enterprise, would you do it?
If I got on the bridge of the Enterprise, I would never, ever leave.
Trust me, it gets old after a while. You must right your wrongs, Sheldon.
Why? I got away with it. Leonard has his toy, and he's never going to open it, so he won't know it's broken. And I have a toy that isn't broken. Everybody's happy.
Well, I am unhappy.
I thought where you come from, they don't have emotions.
I come from a factory in Taiwan. Now do the right thing.
You know what you are? Well, you're a green-blooded buzzkill. Perhaps it's time you beam on out of here.
Fine. I will just use the transporter. Oh, right. You broke it.
Very well. Cooper to Enterprise, 1 to beam up. Energize. Tiny Spock, help.
The one I remember is when LeVar shows up. He's like, at the end of one of the episodes, he's like, I'm so getting off of Twitter. Yeah. I love that kind of stuff. What else with Star Trek?
What's on the new series that's going to be coming out? Like, just based on what you've heard so far, not...
I haven't... See, that's the thing. Like, I'm trying my best, and people should understand this. If you've been listening to me or Steve or any of us, any of our shows on the GCRN for the last 7 years, almost 8 years, I've really gotten into this mode of not giving an opinion until I see a first trailer, commercial, something that has something to do with the actual show. Like the logo thing, the logo trailer, that was fine. It looks cool. The ship thing, I have no context for it other than the fact that it's going to be the ship that's in the show. But until I see an actual trailer, I like the ideas that they're coming with it. You know, the fact that it's a new crew, a new cast, a new that kind of thing. I know you had told me that it is also supposed to be a prequel. I'm not too thrilled with that.
Yeah, I mean, I knew that they were going to do a prequel regardless, but it was of which series.
Right.
And when they decided to do a prequel to TOS, but after Enterprise, I was like, why?
Yeah.
I'm like, they could have gone anywhere. There's like, I realize there's like that time span between Enterprise and TOS.
Right.
But it's set 10 years before TOS, which means that you're going to see some CG version of somebody that's in TOS show up.
Yeah.
And I'm not a fan of the concept, but it's originally what I'd heard is that it was going to be between Generations and the Next Generation.
Right.
Which would have meant you could have seen
the Next Generation crew.
Well, not even that, because there's like 65 years between them, between Generations and then the original series and then the Next Generation. So it's like they had plenty of room to play there too. But I would have rather had seen them do like after the Next Generation years.
What I think they should have done is, because I've seen very few episodes of Voyager, so you'll have, you being the Trekkie, you'll correct me if I'm wrong here. It goes in order of continuity: TOS, obviously, Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, and then Voyager. Does Voyager connect to the others at all,
yes, or Voyager is running the same time as the Next Generation and Deep Space Nine?
Okay, so those three are all in the same timeline.
Yeah.
Why not do something, instead of doing a prequel in between Enterprise, which was a prequel itself, and TOS, why not do something in that universe after Voyager? Like, you can set up a whole new crew, a whole new cast, and then you can still play with all of the other cast members from all the other shows, even some of the ones from, like, why not have it be a new thing? Like, it's been... Well, that show's coming out this year, right? The new show?
No, January.
Okay, so either way.
They've done that, though. Like, Voyager, DS9, and TNG all take place at the same time, so regardless, and they're all in the same timeline.
Right, but what I'm saying is the new show could have come after, like...
Well, they did. It's called Star Trek Online.
No, isn't that the video game?
It is, but it's canon.
Okay, that's just like the Ghostbusters video. But what I'm saying is, television-wise, they could have set Discovery 20 years after Voyager ended, or you know what I mean?
Star Trek Online.
Oh,
well. Would have been 24/0 something, and that either way, like they would have had, because they went like in Star Trek Online, everybody has different ships, everybody has different uniforms, like it's all. They could have gone any direction with it.
Yeah. All as I'm trying to say is Discovery could have been another sequel series that could play on 50 years of history, or however many in-show timeline history is, instead of trying to shoehorn it in between Enterprise and TOS. That's all I'm saying.
I think they should have put it after that, because then they could have had the entire backlog of old villains plus making up new stuff.
Yep. I like how the logo looks. That's about the best I can say from that initial video. I mean, I like how the classic logo looks, but that's pretty much all I can say.
Still more high tech than any other series had it for their logo, and then and I understand it changes with the times, but the ship blows. The design is from the 1970s.
I don't know, man. It just seems like, and I know that's the way Hollywood is now. They're trying to appease the fans, and they themselves are also fans with some of the people that are working in Hollywood now. But it just seems like it's, I don't know.
The writers all used to write for the show.
Yeah.
Nicholas Meyer, he wrote Star Trek 2 and 6, and he directed both of them. And then Brian Fuller actually wrote for DS9 and Voyager.
Yeah.
So they've got a lot of people on board. I'm hopeful for the show itself. I'm not thrilled with the concept, and I'm not thrilled with the pay package, which I've said a million times. But
right. So celebrating 50 years of Star Trek, what if you could have anything from any of the shows? What would the one item be that you would want? Like, I don't know. Not one of the ships, obviously, because it wouldn't fit in your house.
Well, they would, because they were models.
Ha, funny. I'm saying from the actual show, what would be the one thing you'd want?
Transporters.
We all want transporters, dude.
The holodeck. Of course, that's funny because they're getting close to the holodeck.
Yeah.
They've designed something that can actually transport atoms across a room. They've designed technically a replicator with a 3D printer that prints food.
Mm-hmm.
They've created Bluetooth communicators from TNG and TOS. And they've got that transparent aluminum, which we reported on like a year or two ago.
Yeah.
But it's actually real.
Yeah.
But it's it's from Star Trek 4. So I mean, all those things are pretty close. And then the tablets.
Yeah, the tablets that for tablets you can turn it into the Star Trek design. That was always cool. I thought that was pretty cool. I don't know. For me, if I was really wanting something from one of the shows, I'm trying to think. Yeah, we all could use a holodeck because we all want to live out our fantasy somehow. But I'd probably pick one of the phasers. Just because.
I want the transporter. I hate travel.
Oh boy. So what else is going on? We got I'm trying to think. Well, like I said, the iPhone 7's coming, so there's that.
I heard they did away with the headphone jack, which made everybody cranky because it's got wireless headphones that are going to cost an arm and a leg.
Okay. Most of the Apple add-ons aren't that bad when you look at it in the context of you're paying. Okay, if you go to Apple directly and you want to buy the phone outright, you're going to pay $600, $700, $800. If you go through AT&T, T-Mobile, whoever's going to have it, you're going to be paying for 2 years or more the same price over that period of 2 years. But for me, honestly, wireless headphones with an iPhone, I wish it would come with it, like at a little bit of an added cost on top of the iPhone, but it can't be that bad. I mean, most of the Apple products are between $30 and $80 depending for the add-ons. I like the fact that there's no more headphone jack because I think it'd make it a lot easier for everybody, especially people that run, that jog with their iPhones and things like that. The wires aren't getting in the way. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff anymore. I think the wireless headphones are cool.
No, I mean I like the concept. I don't like the being forced.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, yeah, I mean, I agree with you. It'd be easier when you're running or when you're, walking around or whatever you're doing.
There's nothing like, even if you drop something. I remember a few times that I dropped something on the ground and I had to lean over and pick up, and my iPhone at the time was in my pocket and my headphones were in. That jack will pop out no matter what, and the music will start blaring. So wireless headphones, that works for me. I don't even mind the fact that they're being forced on you. Because like I said, overall, you look at the overall expenditure of an iPhone, you're paying, like I just said, anywhere between $600 and $900 total. What's an additional somewhere between 20 and $80? I mean, it's not that, in the grand scheme of things, it's not that bad. Oh my god. Did you just die on me?
I dropped the phone.
Oh.
It slid out from my neck, but yeah, it's not a bad concept. I would probably do it, but I wouldn't spend the money. I just buy the $9 headphones because I break mine a lot.
Yeah.
Granted, the damage is in the wire, but
yeah,
I don't like those type of headphones. I like the ones that like wrap around my ear.
Yeah, these are, and that's what I'm wondering. Well, they showed off other versions of it. The main ones are the in-ear ones that they showed, but they did show off that they're going to have other versions. I don't remember, because I just watched the thing like last night, but I don't remember right off the top of my head if there's going to be a wraparound ear one or not.
Hard to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Battlefield.
What's going on in Battlefield?
The open beta was done on the 8th,
so how's that been going?
I got to play it the last night that I had it, but the thing that sucked about it is I was doing homework like in between it, and I probably shouldn't have stopped doing the homework, but because I mean, granted, it's not necessary at this point in time for me to turn it in, so it's not like it's a huge deal, but
you're doing your homework in advance just to have it ready for when it's
so it didn't matter, but I managed to live stream a little bit of it. I figured out my headphone issue or my microphone issue where things were where I was having the issue of double microphone sound.
Right.
I'm glad I figured that out. And then so it came out right, and then I played about 2 rounds of it, did pretty decent. Well, I should say I didn't do that decent. I couldn't seem to get to where I needed to go without dying. So, but yeah, I ended up doing that and then playing with the other team, or with my clan mates, and didn't record that, but I probably should have because it was just our clan and that server after a while. Like everybody quit and we were just running around doing cavalry charges with the horses and the knives or the sword. And then running into each other, and then like guys would try and come up and knife the train because whatever team was losing, the train would come out and you could use it. And I was setting detonation charges on the track and riding in the back of a truck, and so I was playing that, and then when I got in the train, I was taking down like all the all the airplanes.
Right.
I get in this one spot in the train, and there's all these cannons, and I take them all down, which irritates everybody. So it was great. But yeah, so that's what I did with the game. But can't wait for the real game to come out, but I can't afford it, so it doesn't really bother me at this point.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the whole. I think we mentioned this before. We might have said this before in the last 3 years. And I know a lot of people are going to disagree with this, and that's fine. But I want, if I'm going to sit here and buy a game that's $60, I want that entire game right up front. Like, I'm fine with DLC and having to pay extra for new content, but I know there have been some games recently where only one play mode was included when 2 were supposed to be, and that kind of thing, and it's like, no, I'm not doing that.
Well,
I'm not.
What they do for this is they give you the whole game for $60.
Right.
If you want to unlock all the ammunition, the weapons, the skins, all the little add-ons for the weapons, it costs you like $20 a pack if you want to do it without actually playing the game. which I played the game, so it's not a big deal.
Right. Okay, but what you're telling me is that you can buy Battlefield 1 for $60, and as you unlock achievements, you get all these weapons and whatever else. But if you want to, you have the option to pay additional money. Yeah, that's fine. I'm saying I don't remember which game it was. I don't think it was a Battlefield game. It was, I don't know if it was Call of Duty or whatever. Mike Dodd's probably screaming at the top of his lungs right now. There was a game recently where, oh no, I know what it was. It was Street Fighter V. That's what it was. It didn't come with a single player campaign. It only came with the multiplayer. And then they added it back in later. And I don't know, I cannot confirm whether they actually charged people more after the fact to get the single player campaign. That's what I'm saying with game prices.
Oh no, I agree with you. I don't like the fact that they keep doing that. But my pet peeve with the game is then they announced the expansion, which surprisingly no one on my clan had heard about. And they're supposed to be the hardcore Battlefield gamers, and I knew about it, so I was telling them. And then they were like, "Oh well, blah blah blah. The game is going to have the expansion. It's going to have these 4 expansions, which they give you prior notice that they're coming out. But that is an additional $50, which they've always done that for all the Battlefields, which is why I never buy them, because my family invited me to play it the last time that when Battlefield 4 came out, and I opted to wait until the game, was complete. So you could buy the whole game for well, I mean, even now, some of it you got to buy separately anyway. So, I mean, I guess it really wasn't that cheap, but my brother and my dad put money together so I could play Battlefield 4 with all the expansions. But they had some special going, so you could get like the premium thing for like $50 at the time. But it was also a year old at that point in time. So, like, I've gotten to play the alpha and the beta. I really enjoy both. I really don't want to not be able to get them.
Right.
But I can't justify $120.
Yeah.
In video. Like, I really can't. And I can't afford it. So it just makes it even worse on me because I don't want to not get the game, but I don't want to spend $120. So, now if they were to give me like a review copy and I could play it like forever, then great. Yeah. But
that'd be awesome.
It would be awesome. I'm not gonna lie. I'd play the crap out of it and review it and record it and talk about it and everything. But I haven't gotten that opportunity, you should say, and so I don't know. I mean, I really like the game. I like the mechanics. I like it is easier and faster and smoother than Battlefield 4 to some degree. I mean, it's more difficult in some arenas, but it's nicer in others. Plus, you're using ancient technology compared to what we have now. Which with Battlefield 4, some of these players that play these games are just ridiculously good because they'll use like the iron sights, which is no scope, and you line it up in the middle of this gun, like the iron sights, and then you can. These guys will snipe you from across the map. I have no idea how they see you.
Yeah.
And like I've had that happen to me a couple times. Of course, I've also spotted guys and done the same thing. So I mean, it's not. But I use a scope because I can't see. But no, I mean, my favorite thing to do in Battlefield 1, like the alpha, and I'm going to do a video where I do the alpha versus the beta coming up because I'm trying to do a little bit more video content. I've done 2 Star Trek related ones. I got 3 more that I have planned that I'm going to do over the next week and a half. And then I'm going to do a Battlefield 1. I'll probably have an Impressions one go up. I won't be live streaming any video games right now because Battlefield 1, I was mostly streaming for that. And then Battlefield 4, I was streaming a little bit of, but I'll probably do some other games at some point. But I do plan on doing a versus thing because I like the map from the alpha. And I like the map from the beta. But the beta, to me, had less replayability in that map than the alpha. I just didn't enjoy it as much. Plus, there were certain spots that everybody went to, and so you pretty much knew who was going to be where.
Yeah.
And so it made it easy to pick off certain people, myself included. But I didn't think it was as good. But I don't know. I enjoyed the game for what it was. I enjoyed all the new features. I enjoyed playing different classes, which normally I play as two different classes, and this time I was playing as a sniper mostly because it was just easier for me to actually get kills with the sniper rifle as opposed to just running in with machine guns. So, and I know it sounds like I'm very violent when I play a game, but I'm not. It's like I'm sitting here like, yeah, I'm running around with this machine gun, I'm doing this, blah 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 blah. But no, it's interesting to say the least when you're playing it.
Yeah. I mean, I know I'm still stuck in the Stone Age of 8 years ago with GTA 4, and that's fine. I'm happy playing. Just for me, those kinds of video games like Battlefield, it's more of a tension or anger release than anything else now. I've been playing Battlefield 4 since it came out, or not Battlefield 4, Grand Theft Auto 4 since it came out in 2008. And if I'm just in a rotten mood, I can go on there, I can get in a police SUV and just start crashing into a bunch of cars, and I'm fine just doing that and getting tension out that way. It's an easy way to not do anything stupid in the real world.
Yeah.
And that to me is what those kinds of video games are for. I mean, I've played the story mode for Grand Theft Auto 4, over and over and over again. So I just wish some of those game mechanic. I just wish that game money was real. That's really what I wish at this point.
Be nice, wouldn't it?
Huh?
It'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be really nice.
But no, I mean, it's been interesting and it's been fun, and I definitely play it again. I just, I can't afford it, can't justify it. I got other stuff to take care of. Plus, with breaking my, freaking foot, I was going to record last night, and then, after I got home from the urgent care, I was just like, I don't even feel like it, because, I'm spending more time dealing with the fact that my foot and my body was spasming.
Right.
Because I was in so much pain before I went in there that I just couldn't function, and I couldn't think about anything but my foot, and I had to take a muscle relaxer, so that knocked me right out.
Right. I am, oh wow, it's already up? Holy crap, I did not know that. Dang. I guess that hit today. I was going to say, I'm getting ready for the 2016-2017 TV season. And we have on our website every month, you've been putting out the Netflix stuff of what's coming and what's going away. I thought it was hitting tomorrow, but Supergirl's season 1's already on there now. So, but yeah, I've been waiting for Supergirl to come on Netflix. I've been waiting for the Blacklist season 3, so I'm making my way through that now. I need to head on over to some of my sites that I go to for TV info, because I have, other than Supergirl, other than the shows that I already watch, and other than I think like one or two new ones, I have no idea what's coming this year for new shows. And that's something we can talk about in a future AGU. But that's pretty much what I've been doing. I've been editing podcasts. I've been trying to catch up on certain TV shows before the new seasons. And I am getting ready to go to California in a couple of weeks to see Jen for the first time. So there's that. That's probably the biggest thing for me. Be out there for about 2 or 3 weeks, maybe more, depending. But yeah, that's what I've been up to. That's what I will be up to. Yeah, I've been editing so many podcasts lately because we've been recording a bunch of stuff for Powers of Grayskull series. Michael and I have been recording a bunch of stuff for Pauka for the Phineas and Ferb show. between recording and editing, I'm to the point now, I still enjoy doing all of it, but there are just certain times of the day where I'm just like, I never want a podcast ever again because I've done so much of the process in the last month and a half.
Yeah, I totally get that. Yeah. So I've been in the last, I don't know, week or two, been trying to pump up my YouTube channel.
Yup.
With content and trying to learn this whole YouTube thing. I'm taking After Effects in my media class now, which is fun, and it's learning how to animate, learning how to do stuff, and make it do certain things. Is it kind of complicated? Yeah, but I've also been told that if you know After Effects really well, that's like gold in the digital world.
Right.
For getting a job in media.
Welcome to the Wicked Radio Network.
Want to interact with the show? You can contact us in the following ways. You can call the voicemail line 502-526-5821. You can email us feedback@geekcastradio.com. You can visit the episode post on geekcastradio.com or alteredgeek.com. You can get a hold of us on Twitter @Altered Geek. Look for us every week on geekcastradio.com, of course, Stitcher Smart Radio, iTunes, Blog Talk Radio, and alteredgeek.com. And now, back to the show.
Ooh. Technical difficulties. Let's move on, shall we?
Thank you there, Joker. Yeah, we had a little bit of technical difficulties, but it's all right, because the Joker came in the show.
The Joker show.
It's the Joker show. That's right. No tattoos required.
But yeah, so
you're doing After Effects, yeah.
I'm learning After Effects. It's kind of interesting. I want to definitely want to know how to use this program, because it is, like I said, kind of interesting. It seems like it's more complicated than Premiere, but there's a lot more versatility and stuff you can do. Plus, there's a lot more add-ons. And I've gotten my hands on some pretty nice add-ons, like transitions and effects. That once I learn how to use Premiere a little bit better, or not Premiere, After Effects a little bit better, I'll be able to do some pretty awesome videos. Yeah, and then we've got a bunch of tutorials. We got 4 assignments that are solo, and then we got 1 major assignment. I'm trying to figure out the best way to do it so I don't actually have to go out and talk to people for the first 4. And it also helps now that my foot is destroyed, because I ain't going to want to walk on that. And I got to carry a heavy camera, so that ain't going to work. So I'm going to have to improvise with found footage type stuff or B-roll. Yeah.
You don't need that pinky toe anyway. It's useless.
I wish that sometimes that I didn't need it, but apparently I've been told you do need it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm definitely hoping to get some knowledge there. I want to learn how to do some of the flash type effects from that show, or the transporter, or Kamehameha and stuff like that, just because I've got some ideas for videos that I can't do if I don't know how to use the program. So
right.
So yeah, doing that, and I got the same teacher I've had for the last 4 semesters, so it's been nice.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, so he kind of knows me a little bit, and then I got this one kid in there that's annoying, and he's back this time. He wasn't in the last semester, but he's back now. Yeah, kid drives me nuts. But that's about as far as I'll leave that part of it. So yeah, getting into a little bit of last week, because we made the comment about YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And their policies changing.
Right.
And we got one piece of feedback from Epicurious saying, if people have so many issues with YouTube, go someplace else. Create your own thing or use your own website. YouTube has every right to create whatever rules they want for the product they own. Those complaining about it will wait until YouTube goes under and see what happens. No matter how popular a YouTube person is, they are as replaceable compared to advertisers.
Well, I agree with him to a certain extent. There isn't any other place currently like YouTube. And I think where the complaints are coming from is not, it is about their rules, but it isn't about what their rules state. It's about how they communicate the rules to their users.
Well,
I think
it was because the blatant not telling the YouTubers that they were, making a change to the rules, or that they were going to enforce them, that they were going to go through, that, they demonetized people's videos and for how long. It was the lack of communication, I think, that everybody's irritated with, and not the rules themselves.
Exactly.
And in which I completely back the YouTubers in that section, because there is no communication if something changes, and Google is horrible with communication.
Yeah.
For being a communicative company, they're about as communicating as Google Plus is to people on social media. So, they're not as like, it's a lot harder to get a hold of them than it is like anybody else. Like, there's no contact with YouTube in email. There's no contact with Google for the most part, and they that's. I mean, I agree. YouTube has every right to create the rules that they want and enforce them, but they should let people know too. And then at this point, I've been watching some YouTubers, and they've been complaining about random videos getting taken down for no reason. Or random people flagging their videos, in an attempt to demonetize parts of them. Because it's not regulated. There's no, it's constantly screwing people over, which it's screwing YouTube too, because for every person that they have that's making money or playing videos, they're making money off of with advertisements. So it's kind of a double-edged sword, but because they don't monitor their own stuff or have, a system so that it doesn't flag videos incorrectly, or because it doesn't, there's no rhyme or reason to it. So there's still this gap that they need to fix.
Yeah. You look at, comparing YouTube / Google to something like Apple or PayPal or, whatever, I always get, or anything else, honestly, any other business for any other product, whether you purchase it or not, anything I've ever signed up for that I'm still signed up for, like iTunes or whatever, like my Apple account or whatever, anytime they update either the end user agreement or the license agreement or whatever it is, their terms of use agreement, I always get an email saying, hey, we're updating this. This is what's going to happen now. And you're right. For Google / YouTube, because Google owns YouTube now, you'd think that there would be like some sort of hotline or a direct email address to a customer service person that is actually here in the United States, that there'd be some sort of proper communication between the people that are making money on YouTube and YouTube. You would think that the process would be easier. I mean, YouTube's been around for how long, and they've gotten this far without actually having themselves talk to their people that use their website. As far as taking it somewhere else or creating your own thing for uploading video, that's hard as hell. And I'm not just saying that because I'm not just saying that because it's YouTube, but YouTube is the standard at this point. The only other places that I've seen to upload videos are mainly live streaming sites. I mean, live stream, Ustream, whatever.
Live stream for Ustream.
Ha ha ha. You know what I mean? But I mean, I can't think of any other online video uploading service like YouTube. I just can't think of one anymore. I mean, I know that Google has its own video end outside of YouTube, but that's still Google and YouTube because they're the same. One owns the other. MSN videos, but who the hell still uses MSN? I mean, Yahoo's going to be defunct here soon too, so you can't use that anymore.
I heard they were buying, or somebody was buying them recently. I just don't remember who.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't mind if there's like I've gotten several notices over the years that I've been on YouTube for about 7 years now, 7-8 years, something like that, as far as uploading videos. And I've gotten several notices of, hey, this is almost a copyright violation, but it isn't a copyright violation, that kind of thing. And they said this is just kind of a warning kind of thing and whatever else. And I've cleared it up and things like that. So I don't really mind it too much. But yeah, I mean, the whole YouTube thing, there's never going to be anything, I don't think, that could replace YouTube and the way that it's built itself up over these last number of years it's been online. Because what's the one site people say that they're going to go watch a video on? YouTube. I mean, now that I'm thinking about it, I know Vimeo's out there.
Well, Vimeo's supposed to be for a professional video person. So, like, if you're you're publishing a movie or you're doing a movie trailer or something like that, that's like where professionals go to showcase their stuff, not YouTube.
Right, exactly.
But for the general person, YouTube is where you go.
Yeah. So I think that pretty much rounds out this one. I know we're a few weeks away, but I am so ready for new DC TV at this point.
Oh, I am too. I'm ready for television to come back. So I have a slew of new shows to watch, and then I've got some DC stuff, and then I've got some other shows that are recurring that I'll be paying attention to. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. I can't wait for the TV season.
Yep. It's gonna be awesome. And then I don't even know what, like, this year for movies has been really weird. We got Deadpool, we got Captain America, we got the BS that is BVS, we got what are some of the other ones? Wasn't there an X-Men movie this year?
Yeah, we had Apocalypse come out around Civil War's time, like a month before.
Yeah.
And the month before that was it started with Deadpool in February. Then in March we had BVS, and then in April we had Apocalypse, and then May we had Civil War, and then June we had Turtles. July we had Star Trek Beyond, and then August we had Suicide Squad.
Yeah, and there's been a bunch of other ones that I've seen too, like Jason Bourne came out.
In June.
Yep. Now You See Me 2 came out. I mean, but like, I don't know. Like, is it just me? Am I so out of tune that I don't know what's coming up for the rest of the year? Like, I don't have any clue. Like, I know, obviously, Rogue One. It's Star Wars. It's December. Duh. But as far as any other films, I can't think of any other major films that are coming out this year, unless they're going to make, Lord of the Rings 4 or Hobbit 5 or whatever.
Yeah, I'm pretty well versed. I have a list of stuff that I'm gonna be watching that for the rest of the year, but it's a short list.
Yep.
That movie with Michael Keaton where he plays Ray Kroc.
Yeah.
Not the founder of McDonald's, but the founder of the franchising. Yeah, that looks like that'll be pretty good. But I like Keaton anyway, so it's not going to be that difficult for me.
Yep. Yeah, he's was it? Oh no, it wasn't him. It was another M star. Did you see the article about Riggs, about Mel Gibson?
No.
I love some of these trending things on Facebook, and I scroll through to look at some of these things to find legitimate news website links. And some of the headlines on the Facebook trending: Mel Gibson calls Batman vs. Superman utter shit. That's what he said. And I was just like, oh my God. I get it. It's the internet. We live in the age of the internet. We live in this digital age now where everyone has a voice. And I can remember a time where you'd have to watch an interview with Regis and Kathy Lee to hear Mel Gibson's opinion on something. And it's just one of those things where, okay, so Mel Gibson called this movie crap. Why does this affect the rest of the world? I just don't get it.
Well, same reason we do it.
I guess. So yeah, that's I think that's pretty much what's going on for this week. Kind of a short and I don't want to say strange episode, but we got some stuff done. We got some stuff covered. We got plenty of stuff coming up. It's going to be interesting once I get out to California for my little trip there. So then we'll really be East Coast, West Coast.
Ooh. Till next time, get Altered Geeky with the Altered Geek.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.